listen later. So, all right, we're officially like doing two things at once. Who knew? So this is my normal Facebook Live time where I usually just pull out my phone wherever I am out and about in the world, and I talk about whatever I'm thinking about. But because the InStory show is running now, I wanted to bring on the InStory experts and all the experts from the show to chat with all of you as well. And it's easier for them to jump onto Zoom. So today I have Leslie and Zora, who are both speakers on the InStory show today. They're members of the InStory Way year-long coaching program. And I'm going to say just a couple words what I'm thinking about. Then I'm going to give each of them a chance to say a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you're up to in the world. And then we're going to just share some thoughts. Like here we are in this time period of the coronavirus where we're all like finding new ways to do our lives. And so everybody has a different perspective. And one of the things I've been teaching a lot is what I call, how do you stay in your lane? Like, how do you nourish yourself, make a difference, help people in your lane? And so I think it's different for different people. And part of that has to do with just what's your thing? What are you good at? Who do you support? And like that. And so that's what I want to sort of focus on a little bit today. So I was just trying to make sure that the things was working inside of Facebook since we're streaming in two different ways. So the thing I've been thinking about is how do you take care of the physicality and then reset to joy? And so a lot of my things is about this lifting your energy up. But I want Leslie to share a little bit about how I'm going to start with Leslie, then we'll go to Zora and share a little bit about just what your thinking is. First, just share who you are, where you live, and what you do. Just for context, we're not dentists or whatever we are. Most of us are not. And then share a little bit about some of the things that have been helping you, because we all have to grow. I happened this morning to listen to Eckhart Tolle, and he told a little parable from the New Testament about building a house on stone or building a house on sand. And obviously, if you build your house on stone, it can weather turbulence and adversity. And he said, that's it. We need to go deeper to build our house on rock and deeper, and go deeper and weather adversity. And he says, it's only through adversity that we do the work to go deeper. If everything's hunky-dory and you're in your comfort zone, you're just la-di-la-di-la, right? So that was like a very good reminder, because I'm always telling people we're deep and a little wacky, and I believe in going deep. So that like caught my attention and reminded me to, and so Leslie, that makes me think about a lot of the work that you do and what you think about. So share a little bit about, introduce yourself, and then share some of your thinking, and then that'll be Zora's turn.
Okay. Well, what you just said speaks directly to me, of course. I was a social worker until 2012, and then I moved to California. My body, I think, moved me to California out of necessity. And I began a holistic life coaching program, and I realized that wasn't what my body was calling for. It was great. It was a larger context than social work, but my body was calling me home, and I didn't quite understand what that was all about at that time. Because for me, from the childhood I came from, being in the body was a very scary place to be. Mm-hmm. So 6 years ago, I started learning Qigong, and the way that this man teaches it is all nature-based, which 100% speaks my language. And what I've been learning is that the body and the mind communicate through imagery. So the fact that when we're moving energy with Qigong, it's always with imagery. There's always a nature-based name to the image.
Sorry.
From the childhood. And that was how I've slowly learned how to re-inhabit, maybe for the first time in this lifetime, my body, and make peace with it, and learn, especially with what we've got going on right now, when the fear starts to surface. And a lot of times it's not only just today fear, it's fear from a while ago. It's starting to surface. I'm learning how to be more of the responsible, caring, soothing parent figure inside of me that can then work with that energy, not project it outward, not stuff it down anymore, but really learn to soften it and move it. And I'm learning that's really how to balance not only the nervous system, but the immune system, and how important relaxation is to our immune system, and healthy breathing with this respiratory virus that's going around. So it's been a challenge because my impulse is to shorten my breath. When I start feeling afraid, the first thing that shortens is the breath. So it's been a constant, not only 20 seconds of washing the hands, but really coming home here and extending the breathing and clearing out the old energy and just learning to feel safe inside and independent of the crazy that's going on out there. That's the hard part. It's like, here's the challenge that Eckhart Tolle was talking about. We sometimes, like a tree, like I'm going to use this image again that I used in my talk, we need strong, healthy roots and the dark yin phase of life. And we're coming out of that right now. Those in the Northern Hemisphere, we're moving into spring now. But over the winter, we've been working on this part. And then the Southern Hemisphere is working on this part right now. So that's what it's been for me, is learning how to inhabit my own tree and grow roots that I probably never had. Mm-hmm. And being okay with this, the stillness, and being home, you know, moving energy, connecting online, but staying inside and trying to balance everything.
And you know, and Leslie, that whole perspective, because it's so easy to just get pulled into fear, and you can feel that visceral feeling of fear when it goes in your body.
And fear pulls us out.
Yeah.
You know, it's so coming back in can be really, it's the 180-degree turning point. You know, okay, I got to come back in to balance my energy and my nervous system.
Right. So before we're done today, maybe we'll do a couple of things to help people with that. Just so that we can, you know, I'm really trying to give people a big tool bag, you know, and there are lots of people out in the world now giving us tools to handle the times that we're in. And here's the thing, and these tools always work. We just really need them right now. So, okay, so we'll come back. We'll kind of bounce around. So Zora, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where you live, what you're up to, and then a little bit of just how your thinking is helping you manage in this time.
I'm always up to mischief, but who am I?
I think that is actually a very helpful perspective to some degree.
I'm Zora Messing Nattenblatt, grew up in Brooklyn, live in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, in the same house for 54 years with my childhood sweetheart. We just passed our 58th anniversary.
Unbelievable.
I also have a birthday at the end of the month, but
oh no, I revealed all on your. I revealed everything, so you can tell.
Okay, I have trouble saying the number.
80. She's gonna be 80. It's the most amazing thing ever. I hope when I grow up, I'll be 80 like you.
And my birthday is the end of the week, on the 27th. But I am now in my Florida home because where I live in Pennsylvania has the virus. And so we decided it was safer to be in Florida. And here I can bike ride every morning or walk and meet people outside. Everything, of course, like where you are, is closed. Mm-hmm. Who am I? Well, I am a mother of 3 grown children. I have 6 gorgeous, marvelous, intelligent grandchildren.
Of course you do.
Yeah, I'm not boasting.
No.
In my past life, I was a physical therapist, and when I first began, I had blinders on, and because of doctors in my family, I stuck very medical model. A friend of mine who was a PT was doing the Alexander technique, which is how to be better posture and be more within yourself. And she kept putting her hands on me. She was a friend. And at first I thought, oh, this is cuckoo. And the more we worked together, before I knew it, I had signed up for a 3-year program to learn the Alexander technique. And I added that to my practice. And then I heard about Upledger, and I started to do cranial sacral therapy. I became a teaching assistant. And so my practice went from traditional physical therapy to hands-on and everything else, because I took courses in almost anything and everything that was hands-on. And it was amazing how my clients changed and continued. And when I first began, I worked in hospitals and rehab centers and nursing homes. And I then opened a private practice for the last 20 years in my home. And I had a PT office in my home. People would come there. And most of my clients loved it because my rec room was the waiting room, and I happened to collect antique telephones. And that room has an old phone booth that you used to see, a wooden phone booth in the candy store. It had it has a switchboard, which at one point my kids had phones connected all through the house and would ring. So they had some enjoyment as well. And I retired in 2012, and that's when we started coming to Florida for quite a number of winter months to get out of the cold. And as I said, we were here when this virus presented itself, and we decided it was much safer to be here than to go up north. So I'm not sure how long we will be here, but we're happy to have this home to be here.
You're such an inspiration, Zora. I just love listening to you. So just also tell us about your book.
Okay. About 4 years ago, I started writing a book. And I don't know why I started writing a book. I never thought I would write a book. But for my 65th birthday, I decided I wasn't anybody special, and I had never achieved honors and awards. And I just had to prove to myself that I was okay and that there were things I could do. So I made 20 challenges of different things that I enjoyed doing. And athletically, I walked in the 3-day, 60-mile Susan Komen walk. I did the half marathons twice around Central Park. And I did that on my 65th birthday, and then on my 66th birthday, and beat my time by 15 minutes. And then had a wonderful birthday party at Tavern on the Green, which is there, with friends and relatives. Even friends came from Israel to help celebrate my birthday. So that was wonderful. And the book was very cathartic for me. It was very emotional writing it. I have the theme of the book is to diss the dis in disability. The book is called Who is Zora? Sight Unseen. And I have a disability which is not always visible, and was not something I ever talked about. But I tell all in the book. And so you have to read it, because I'm not going to tell you. But as I said, I did many, many different challenges. I took courses. I had a bat mitzvah. I never had a bat mitzvah growing up, because girls didn't have those back then. And I read Torah in the synagogue, and that was really very exciting and very thrilling for me. And very, very heartwarming. I did, let me see what else. All of a sudden my mind is going
No,
blank.
you don't have to tell us any more of your challenges. What I wanted you to do was to just share some of the spark you have in life, because when we look at you, you're a person who has not let any adversity get you down, and we're in a time period where it's really important to have that attitude that I'm not going to let anything stop me or anything get me down. So it's like I just want people to see your spirit, because here in these kind of times it pushes us. You know, it's that concept of when you hit adversity, it pushes you to grow. So you intentionally created challenges which, so to speak, set up artificial adversity in a sense to strengthen yourself. Well, a lot of people don't do that. So the question is now, while people are stuck at home and in completely different circumstances, how do we find the best? How do we grow ourselves into something new and positive? Because you did a challenge because you wanted to, like, because you're crazy. No, I'm kidding. So you did, and so now we are given a challenge that we don't want, but how do we rise to it? What does success look like? Like, you wanted to run a half marathon, you did it, and then you ran it faster. So for me, I think one of my things is I want us to be in this challenge, and then after you take care of the physical instructions, to tap into more joy. Like, how do you reset to a new joy, whatever that is for you? And that's what I feel like you kind of did, Zora.
I have to start by thanking my parents, because they didn't tell me their things that I was doing was too dangerous. They never, if I wanted to do something, and my parents were very athletic for their generation. They were always walking, playing tennis, playing golf. And so if I decided to do horseback riding, they never said, you know, you can fall and break your neck. I skated, I skied, and I did it at my level, you know, and I improved. I'm not an expert at any of that, but it was always fun to do. As I said, my parents were they let me do almost anything, and never questioned, never told me it was dangerous. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And if I speak to my brother, we think we have totally different parents, because he was numero uno, son and grandson. So he was up here, held to a very different level. And I was just little sister, you know, who's pain in the neck. But knowing I could be free. Yeah, I was freer. I didn't have any limitations. Nothing was, you know, my parents never told me that this was too difficult. Or I did get my brother to help to learn how to ride a two-wheel bicycle. And I knew my father was afraid of me being on a two-wheeler, and I was 14 or something like that. So way beyond the age of learning that. And my goal was to drive in front of my father's dental office, you know, because he would always look out the window, and I would assume he'd drill through the roof of someone's mouth if he saw me on a two-wheel. Well, neither happened, but you know, I did ride a two-wheeler, and for most of my life. I will admit that now I ride a bike, but it's a tricycle, because the tricycle takes up the full width of the sidewalk. So everybody has to get off the sidewalk if I'm going up it on the tricycle, and I won't run them over. So yes, no, I did not let anything stop me. I did not like school. School did not like me.
Most feisty folks are like that. And the thing is, it's what I want people to get in as they're listening to you is that this spirit, this I can do spirit. Because look, being in the times of this virus, it can take anyone down. So I'm going to pause Zora there for a second and then go back to Leslie, because I want to go back and forth. And Leslie, talk a little bit about some of the work you're doing, like either in the Qigong or breathing, or some of the things that are helping you like, because a lot of people get in their head, right, and start to project all these things. You know, I heard a teaching from one of my rabbis. I love Rabbi Shlomo Katz, and he said, this old teacher, Rabbi Nachman, taught, it's not that he said, don't be afraid, because sometimes fears are protection. He said, lo lahit pached, which is in Hebrew is the reflexive, don't make yourself afraid. And there's a big difference between being afraid in the moment and needing to take action, and then being fine in the moment and projecting all the possible terrible things that might happen in the future, which is freaking yourself out, which is making yourself afraid. Because right now, if you're sitting home in your house and you are safe and you have taken all your precautions, there's nothing you can do. And making yourself scared will not make it better. So what do we do about that, Leslie?
Well, this is where I'm an expert, because I didn't realize that my body was so full of fear from long ago that I was in that spin cycle constantly. And now when I've learned the difference, I'm like, oh my God, I was living on automatic fear pilot most of my life and was in go, go, go mode with my foot on the accelerator nonstop, you know, and challenging myself, because I had 2 older brothers. So I've been trying to keep up with older brothers since I was probably 3 years old. And so I've had to learn the opposite now. So I've had to learn, okay, you know, take a deep breath, drop in, I'm here now. And that made me, the very first time I did that, it made me sob, like, because I realized how much I had not been here now. I could be here now when I was helping, you know, when I was doing social work or when I was riding horses. But if I wasn't on a horse or sitting with the kid that I was working with, I definitely was not here. My automatic pilot was out.
Mm-hmm.
So dropping in and realizing I'm here, and then ask myself, am I safe right in this moment?
Yeah.
Because the body is always in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been the, you know, the challenge for me, is like, okay, everything in this moment is safe. None of us, at this point, none of us know where we're going, you know, so everybody's in the same boat. And we're all needing to learn how to stay calm. Like I read the other day that stress is just as infectious as this virus is, right? And even before this virus, 90% of all doctor visits were stress related.
Wow.
So I think we're all being challenged right now. How do we find peace and calm in ourselves, so then we ripple out peace and calm to everybody else?
Right.
Like one of the great things with horses is they will mirror to you immediately where you are energetically, you know, and I find my cat will do the same thing. Like he'll tell me when I'm off. So if I'm not aware of it, my cat will, you know, there'll be some sort of signal. Okay, come back home, Leslie, you know. And if nothing else, like right now, even with the washing the hands for the 20 seconds, I use rosemary smell, you know, the odor of rosemary in the soap that I use. And it's like, okay, breathe in the scent, feel the soap on your hands. In this moment, you are safe. You are taking care of yourself. You can feel grateful for that. And for me, that's where the joy comes from. Like when I'm balanced in here and I'm safe in this moment, it's like real joy that's not coming from some sort of external reward system. It's coming from just here. I'm here for me. I'm here trying to spread ripples of calm, and I'm doing the best that we can at this moment. Because we're all in the unknown, right? So we have a choice in how are we going to then move through this, right? I didn't know I had a choice before, because I didn't know how out of alignment I was. But now I do know that I have a choice, and now I can call on my adult self to bring this scared little child back in, nurture her, you know, melt her back into this whole flow. Like my Qigong teacher likes to use the metaphor of ice to water, water to steam. And so there are a lot of iced up pieces. Like I'm feeling it in the back of my neck more than ever right now. And I don't know if it's my posture when I'm at the computer or just all the stress, but I like to use the image of, okay, the sun is now on the back of my neck and it's melting the ice into the water. And it feels so good, especially when I do it with my hands too. There goes the steam and there goes natural joy. Right?
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that. I have that in the back of my neck too. And Zora's like, oh, I'm a physical therapist. I don't get my hands on you. No.
But can I add one more thing? I think what's interesting too is that we've become so disconnected from our bodies and nature. And right now we're getting the message that we're supposed to stay away from other humans, but nature is a very safe healing balm at this moment. And to get outside, and the virus doesn't like sun, so be in the sun, get your bare feet on the ground, breathe deep. We just had a lot of rain here and it smells cleaner, and the smog over Sacramento is like dissipating. You know, so there's some positives that are coming out of, there's a lot of tragedy, but there's a lot of positive too.
Right. And so that, I think, is our message to all of you, is to reset, like reset to, you know, what lights you up, how do you overcome a challenge? How do you feel successful? How do you feel joy? How do you get in your body? How do you be in the moment? So Zora, maybe leave us with one last thought, and then Leslie, maybe you'll leave us with one last little guided, like one little exercise.
Okay.
An exercise.
No,
Okay.
you're going to leave us with the last thought. Leslie's going to do an exercise.
Okay. Leslie, you know, I don't think I was ever scared of anything, because some little voice inside of me, something intuitive, would tell me, well, if you step over the mountain, you know, the edge of the mountain, you're going to fall. I mean, I sort of had this inner voice as a child to know that there were certain things beyond my safety capacity. And I think that voice has been with me unknowingly most of my life, that, you know, oh, you can go do that, but watch out for that corner, or, you know, there's a car coming, step back. So I don't know, you know, where it comes from or who it is or what it is, but it's been my little savior when I've tried to go a little bit further than maybe I should. But in this time, the one thing I'm finding being stuck at home is the telephone is wonderful, because I am connecting to relatives that I haven't seen in a long time. And it's good for them, it's good for me. I'm also connecting to friends who I know are living alone, and just checking up on them to make sure, do you have food? Do you need anything? You know, maybe we can meet outside and sit on a bench far enough away from us and just talk. It's easier than, you know, more fun than the phone. So I think keeping in touch with your neighbors, with your families, with your friends, in any way that you do, is important, not only for me, but I think it's important they are enjoying that too. And that would be my message at this unfortunate time that we're living through, where we have to be isolated, and you don't want anybody in your home, and you don't go to anybody else's home when you're used to playing cards on this night, and going to a show in an auditorium on that night when you live in a senior community. It's community, and this is separation. So my feeling is that I just spend a lot of time on the phone, or meet someone outside and sit in a park bench and carry on as though life was continuing.
Good. I love that, Zora, and just that extra effort to reach out to somebody. So thank you for that. I agree. Really, it does make a difference. We forget sometimes how much we make a difference. You know, that's what I say, like leading in your lane. So Zora's really good on the telephone. She's got a lot of them in her other house. But that thoughtfulness is who you are. So you're being thoughtful and reaching out. So really good. All right, Leslie, maybe you want to do like a little thing just to help us. Like I usually like to have some in these little spontaneous morning things, to have just a little experiential thing.
Okay. How many minutes do we have left?
Well, let's do, I don't know, 3 minutes, something like that.
Okay. So this is called wave breathing, and then we're going to end it with a visualization. I usually do this standing up, but I'm not going to do that for the camera purposes. But put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest. Okay. Close your eyes and take a deep breath and feel it go all the way down so that your belly is extending. So breathe as deep as you can. And then as you exhale, feel your belly move all the way back so it's almost tucking into the spine in the back. And feel the air come back. So as the belly, as you're exhaling, the air is coming back up to your chest. So you're breathing down, filling the belly, and then exhaling and filling the chest. And just do this a couple more times. And this wave gets energy moving through all of the organ systems, so it helps move any energy that's stuck there. Because a lot of times illness can come from energy that gets stagnant in the body. And then you're also shifting your nervous system when you're doing this, and your body knows that you are here with it right now. Okay, now that you're in your body, now let's tap into a visualization. So imagine that now it's nighttime and you're standing outside of your front door, somewhere where you feel safe, and you've got your bare feet on the earth, and there's a star above your head that calls your name. And maybe that star is a pet or a person that's no longer with us, someone that you felt really, really safe with. And imagine that star is your personal star. And all of the scared little pieces of you that may have left your body at one time or another because you didn't feel like it was safe to be here, they've all clustered around that star with that safe environment that's up there. We're going to imagine that we have a crystal that goes from the top of the crown of our head all the way up to that star. And as you're breathing and you feel safe in your body now, you're going to give that star permission to start raining down on you warm energy that's all those little pieces of you that are ready to come home. Just feel it slowly entering your body, almost like warm honey that's flowing from the top of your head. Maybe it's going down the back of your neck where there's tension. Everything's coming back down. It's going to move down through your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, and back down into your belly center, which is your personal earth center. And you're going to give everything that was up there, and the people or the pets that are up there that are managing that star, say, I'm ready to bring it home. Then imagine that you have another crystal quartz that goes from your tailbone down to the very center of the crystalline core of Mother Earth. And she's giving you permission to release anything that no longer serves you. You can release it down into her, and she's grateful because she's going to use that for compost. That's going to grow the new energy that's coming up. So you've got energy raining down, that's your healthy energy coming back to you, and then anything that you're ready to release can go from your roots down into the crystalline core of Mother Earth. And in her gratitude, she's now helping you to rise up nourishing energy from her deep, deep, deep down in her crystalline core back into your womb space, your earth center. And these two energies from above and below are all working together in your earth center, in your belly center. And this is where your natural joy comes from. And when this is where our survival energy is too. And when this is imbalanced, then the energy that rises from the womb up to the heart is elevated in the free natural joy that's available to all of us all the time. So in ending, just send your gratitude to your personal soul star up above. and the crystalline core of Mother Gaia, and know that you can tap into these energies anytime you want. And just for an added benefit, imagine that 4 feet out from your body is this beautiful violet hue, almost like we're painting a rainbow around the body. So you've got this violet hue about 4 feet out from the body that surrounds the entire body. And this is your natural energy system. It's your healthy energy, your natural joy that's emitting through that whole 4 feet circle around you where you can feel safe and contained. And then another 4 feet out from that, so 8 feet from the body, you have a magenta pink color of a circle all the way around that. And then 12 feet out from the body is a white ring around you. And so you can now emanate your peace, your love, your joy from your body out to the pink ring that other people can feel around you, and even farther out to the white ring. And we're all interconnected with other humans, with nature, with animals, with the elements. We're all in this together. May you feel peaceful and joyful. Put both hands over your lower womb space. This is your power center. And you can store energy here all the time. This is your own savings account for your body. Take one more deep breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Especially I can feel those rings of that beautiful light around me. It's interesting because now I feel this horizontal energetic expansion and this vertical energetic connection. Okay, now I feel this like uplifted energy coming down, grounding me in the earth. Now I feel this like energy expanding around me. So like, okay, I'm good. Because it completely it's like when I said this reset, I feel like that really is a reset to joy, what you just led us through. It's really beautiful. You feel that, Zora?
Yes, I do. I feel very good, very happy, very full of me.
In a good way.
For some people, that's not good.
So, well, Zora and Leslie, thank you so much. And Janice, so nice you're here. Janice is going to be one of the speakers. I forget which day this week. And everybody, whenever you are listening, wherever you are, breathe this in, trust this process. Zora and Leslie, thank you so much. And so everybody, trust this expansion. Just trust this. Do the work. We're being called to do this very elevated work. So do it. Reach out. Help other people. Trust that. Trust this. All right? Trust this light. Leslie, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. Zora, you're an inspiration. Everybody, you're amazing. Remember, you're amazing, and go remind someone else they're amazing. All right, everybody. And as I say in farewell, remember to go out in the world, share your story, live your purpose, and be a blessing. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.